He encouraged fathers to pass a spiritual blessing to their children. He said it's more than talking to them about church or praying with them or setting a good example. He gives 5 things, and my time's about gone, but I want to give you these 5 things very quickly. That is, listen. Please listen. A child needs a meaningful touch from his or her daddy. Jacob embraced and kissed and laid his hands on his sons and grandchildren. He gave them a hug or a touch on an arm or out the shoulder or butterfly kisses. He communicated his love for them. Second thing is verbal affirmation. Children long to hear their dad say, "I'm proud of you. You've done that well. I love you." Many dads have a hard time even telling my wife I love her. An even harder time to telling a child I love her. And that child is going to grow up not hearing his dad say, "Her dad, I love you." 3, attach value to that child. To bless them means to honor them. We honor our children by letting them know how valuable they are to us. They're the most important people in the world to us. That means we sacrifice for them. That means that we look them in the eye when we talk to them. And we stop and listen to them when they're trying to tell us something. Attach value to your children. 4, picture a positive future for them. Jacob pronounced a positive future on Reuben and Judah and Dan and Asher and the others. We can bless our children by attaching high value to their gifts and then picturing for them a positive future. Our kids need to know there is a positive future. Yes, a lot of negatives going on in our world. A lot of stuff. But the daddy's got to be somebody that's strong. That says, "Son, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Honey, you're going to be okay. Things are not all right in the world, but I'm here. And you can make it." I remember Martha telling me about her dad, who was one of the finest men I've ever known. It was her daddy. And he would tell her when she would come home discouraged about something, and he would take her and say, "Honey, you're a belle. You can do anything. You can make it." That she has grown up with that kind of positive influence. A lot of kids don't get that. But we daddies have that job of in a negative world to let them say, "You can do it. You can make it. You're a Jones, Smith, or whatever." You need to say to them, "You know, you really love people, don't you? You'll make a good salesman. The way you love animals, you'll be a good veterinarian. You want to be a policeman? That means you're courageous. The way you love the church, you want to be a church leader. Put some kind of a positive. Don't let the negative of the society guide your child where he or she goes. There has to be an active commitment. It's not enough to speak the words. There has to be a willingness in the parent to sacrifice for the child, to pray, to spend time in helping them develop their gifts, to spend money for lessons and higher education. Be honest. Many men find it difficult to do some of the things and to verbalize how they feel. I know how it is. We men have a hard time verbalizing. I had a hard time when we married to be able to tell Martha, "I love you." But I did not hear that in my own home. And it took a long time for her to train me right. And that it was hard. I know it's hard on some of you guys. Listen, there's nothing sissy, nothing wrong with telling your wife, I love you. Look her in her eye when you say it. I don't have any use for a man that can't look his wife in the eye and say, I love you. Because I know how it is. I was that way. And I know you can come out of it. You don't have to continue what your daddy or somebody else does. You can tell somebody you love them. It's hard to tell your children, but you need to do it. We all need to let them know you love them. Look them in the eye. I love you, son. I love you, Jenny. I love you, daughter. You can say to one of your kids, you know what your dad said about you? This is where the mom can help the daddy. Please hear me. Some of you wives can help your husband. If that husband has a hard time talking to your daughter or that son and to tell them how he appreciates them, you can say something like this to your children in private. You can say, you know what your daddy said about you last night? He said, I think that's the smartest girl I've ever seen. And the dad may not be able to tell that. Mom can say, this is what your dad said. Or you should have seen the look on your dad's face when you walked across that platform. Or when you got that hit. Or when you hit that basket. Or when you ran that touchdown. He was beaming. His buttons were going to pop off. Your daddy is so proud. If your dad does something right, tell him. He'll act like it's nothing, but I'll guarantee you, he'll remember it for the rest of his life. You have no idea how much your dad loves you. And I know it. But even though when I could not say it, I felt it. I just didn't know how to say it. And I was afraid to say it. So I know how a dad feels. So I know a dad that can't say it really does love you. I want to also mention to you, and I'm going to skip some things. Daddy, I want to talk to you man to man. It's up to you to love Jesus Christ and not be ashamed to tell your son or your daughter, honey, son, Daddy loves Jesus Christ. And I'm praying that you will. And Dad, I want to tell you something, man. The one that's responsible for leading your child to Jesus Christ is you as the dad. That doesn't mean leave the mother out. The mother has that responsibility also, but the daddy is the spiritual leader in the house. And man, if you're not being the spiritual leader, you're failing. Because the scripture says the leader of that house is right there. You. And you can't let that child get too old before you say, honey, let's have a heart-to-heart talk. I want to tell you about Jesus who changed my life, and I want to see you come to know Jesus. And Daddy, if you let that child come to where they get 12 or 13 years of age, the chances of that child coming to Christ get less and less. And it could be where you will never see your child come to Christ. I don't see how a dad can stand it and let that child not come to Christ, realizing that if that person dies without Jesus, they go to an eternal hell. And Daddy, that's terrible. It's up to you to make sure that son or that daughter comes to Christ. Love Jesus. Talk to your child. I close with this illustration that I came across. Patrick Morley, in his book, Man in the Mirror, tells a story about an ill-fated fishing trip. A group of fishermen had landed in a secluded bay in Alaska and had a great day fishing for salmon. But when they returned to their seaplane, they were surprised to discover that it was aground because of the fluctuating tides. And they had no option except to wait until the next morning when the tides came in. But when they took off, they only got a few feet off the ground. They came crashing back into the sea. And as they came into the sea, or when they were aground the day before, the pontoon was punctured and it had filled with water. The seaplane slowly began to sink. There were 3 men and a 12-year-old son, Mark. They prayed, then they jumped into the icy, cold water to swim ashore. The water was cold. The riptide was strong. And 2 of the men reached the shore exhausted. They looked back, and their companion, who was a strong swimmer, did not swim to shore because his 12-year-old son wasn't strong enough to make it. When they looked back, they saw the father with his arms around his son being swept out into the sea. He chose to die with his son rather than to live without him. There's a fact of life that most kids do not know. We men love our children so much that if it came to it, we would die for our children. We would stand in front of somebody that was going to shoot each other. We would do anything in our power, even to give our lives for our children. And some children may not know that. But if I were to ask the fathers who would die for their daughter or their son or their wife, perhaps every man would stand in this church. I would. The Bible says, greater love has no man than this, that he lay down his life for his friend. There was another father who had to watch his son die. And that father had to watch his son die in your place and in mine. What a great father he is. But this son died for you and me. Today, Daddy, if you've never prayed for Jesus to come into your heart, I urge you that on this Father's Day, before the sun sets, to just go to God and say, Dear God, I've never asked you to come into my heart. Dear God, I know that Jesus is your Son. And I know that Jesus died on the cross for my sins. And today I ask you to forgive me of all my sins and let Jesus come in. Thank you, God, for saving me. Daddy, the greatest gift you would give your wife or your son or your daughter if you're not a Christian is today to become a Christian. Dads, I know it's tough. I hate to say it, but it's going to get tough. I've been a dad for many, many years. And there is, even to this very day, there's never a time when you can say, I don't care about my daughter. Even though she's married, got children. Well, I don't care about my son. Because there are many of us daddies who still have to help our daughter and our son. It doesn't get easy. But the responsibility never stops. You need help. And I want to recommend Jesus Christ, Almighty God, who loves you and cares. You need him. Trust him. God bless you. Father, you know how we dads are. Sometimes it's hard for us to express how we really feel. Lord, we love our wives, we love our children. It's just awfully hard sometimes. I pray, God, for every daddy in this building, every grandma, great. And if there's one here that's not saved, not a Christian, may that person today trust in Jesus Christ. And God, help every daddy to vow in his heart, I'm going to be a better dad, better husband, a better grandfather, great grandfather. And I need help. In the strong and powerful name of Jesus Christ